Hello students, this is your history lesson. Today we will read unit number 2, the achievements of the early Islamic world from History Today book 2. So we start our lesson. Students, in this chapter you will learn about the golden age of Islam, Islamic achievements in science, Islamic achievements in arts. Students, the golden age of Islam is the time from the 8th to the 11th centuries is known as the golden age of Islam because during it Islamic culture flourished throughout the Muslim world. In chapter 1 you have learned that the Arabic language spread under the Umayyads. Soon it had become an important language across the Muslim world. Arabic also became the language of scholars who adopted it so that they could express new ideas in science and learning. In the 8th and ninth centuries, scholars translated the writings of other and earlier civilizations into Arabic. In Persia, for example, scholars discovered books written by the ancient Greeks. These books contained ideas about subjects such as medicine and astronomy, which were much more advanced than Muslim ideas. Muslim scholars studies Muslim scholars studied these works and were able to advance their own thinking. Great Islamic cities such as Samarkand in modern Uzbekistan, Cordoba in Spain, and Cairo in Egypt became centers of learning with schools and universities with libraries, laboratories, and observatories. In Cairo, for example, the study of science became important, particularly between 900 and 1200. This was mainly due to the interest of Caliph al-Hakim 985 to c. 1021. Al-Hakim's support for science led him to employ scientists such as the astronomer Ibn Yunus and polymath Ibn al-Hatham, who you have learnt about in this chapter. He built an important library in his palace where meetings were held for scientists. The greatest and most important center of Islamic learning was the Abbasid capital of Baghdad in modern day Iraq, which became for a time the intellectual center of the world. In Baghdad, Caliph Mamun 813 to 833, the son of Harun al-Rashid, built the famous university called the House of Wisdom, where a wide range of subjects were studied. The House of Wisdom brought a new scientific spirit to the Muslim world. Here, the greatest work of the ancient Greeks, as well as books from India, Syria, Persia, and northern Africa, were translated into Arabic. The most famous of the translators was Hunan ibn Ishaq al-Ibadi 808 to 873. Hunan was an Arabic Christian who studied medicine at Baghdad and learned ancient Greek. He was appointed as chief doctor to the Abbasid court. Al-Abadi traveled to Syria, Palestine, and Egypt to gather ancient Greek manuscripts. He and his students translated huge numbers of works into Arabic by famous ancient Greek scholars such as Plato, Aristotle, and Hippocrates. This work unlocked the secrets of Greek learning and made it available to Arab philosophers and scientists throughout the Islamic world. So, in the history of Islamic world, the achievements of the early Islamic world, we can see number of scientists who contributed a lot in the advancement of science and art. And the most famous of them are that are related to the House of Wisdom were Abu Yusuf al-Kindi, then Raziz, Ibn Sina, Jabir, Ibn Hayyan, Ibn al-Hatham, al-Batuni, al-Biruni, Ibn Yunus. These are the personalities or scientists who contributed a lot in the advancement of science and art. In the early days of Islam, there was little interest in architecture and arts. The nomadic Bedouin Arabs of Arabia, where Islam had begun, had no need to develop skills in arts and crafts such as painting or glass making. There was little interest in architecture, but later, as the caliphs grew wealthier, they began to build on a grand scale. They copied styles of architecture and art from around the Islamic Empire. For example, the Greek columns and Roman domes of the Byzantine Empire. They also liked the pointed arches used by the Persians. Over time, a typical Islamic style developed. Muslim craftsmen developed their own style of mosaic, the art of making pictures with small pieces of glass or tiles learned from the Byzantines. Tile work, glass work, metal work, painting, textiles such as carpets, prayer mats, and wall hangings, etc., were the addition in this art. Similarly, calligraphy using writing as an art was also carried out. Quotations from the Quran and other Islamic texts were used to decorate buildings and art artifacts. The story from the past. The tales of the Arabian Nights are a group of stories collected during the time of the Abbasid dynasty. Many are set in Baghdad, but others have cities such as Basra or Cairo as their background. The tales are very varied and come from a wide area, including India, Iran, Iraq, Egypt, and Turkey. They are useful to historians because they give a lot of information about how people lived at that time. The first European translation of the stories was made into French as Les Milliers New Needs, the Thousand and One Nights in the early 18th century. Ever since that time, the stories, including the tales of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, Sinbad the Sailor, Aladdin and his wonderful lamp, and the Thief of Baghdad, have been enjoyed around the world. They have been used as themes for books, cartoons, computer games, feature films, and even dances. Questions 1. Use page 16. Rearrange the letters in each of these words to spell important terms in the period from the 8th to 11th centuries AD. A. Golden Age. B. Islam. C. Muslim. D. Culture. 2. Use pages 16 to 17. Copy these sentences and add the word true or false to each. A. The Arabic language originally spread during the Umayyad dynasty. True. B. Arabic became the language of Europeans. False. C. Muslims had more advanced ideas on medicine than the ancient Greeks. True. D. The Persian city of Cordoba became a center of learning. F. E. Caliph al-Hakim did much to support developments in science. True. 3. Use pages 17 to 18. A. What was the house of wisdom? Answer. The greatest and most important center of Islamic learning was the Abbasid capital of the Baghdad in modern day Iraq, which became for a time the intellectual center of the world. In Baghdad, Caliph Mamun 813 to 833, the son of Harun al-Rashid, built the famous university called the House of Wisdom. where a wide range of subjects was studied. The House of Wisdom brought a new scientific spirit to the Muslim world. Here, the greatest works of the ancient Greeks, as well as books from India, Syria, Persia, and northern Africa, were translated into Arabic. B. What evidence can you find in source 2.2 about learning? Answer. We can find that at the House of Wisdom, scholars studied books and discussed what they had read. C. What was a polymath? Answer. Many Muslims scholars were polymath, which means they were experts in several subjects. D. Write details about the main achievements of Al Abadi and Al Kindi at the House of Wisdom. Answer. The most famous of the translators was Hunan ibn Ishaq al Ibadi, 808 to 873. Hunan was an Arab Christian who studied medicine at Baghdad and learned ancient Greek. He was appointed as chief doctor to the Abbasid court. Al Ibadi traveled to Syria, Palestine, and Egypt to gather ancient Greek manuscripts. He and his students translated huge numbers of works into Arabic by famous ancient Greek scholars such as Plato, Aristotle, and Hippocrates. This work unlocked the secrets of Greek learning and made it available to Arab philosophers and scientists throughout the Islamic world. One of the earliest scholars at the House of Wisdom was Abu Yusuf al-Kindi, 802 c. 870, who is sometimes called the first Arabic philosopher. Al-Kindi studied and wrote about many subjects including medicine, geography, geology, astrology, optics, and even sword making. He also read the works of Greek philosophers and joined their ideas to Islamic teaching. As the fame of Al Kindi and scholars like him began to spread, students traveled from many countries to study under them. 4. Use pages 26 to 27. Complete these sentences. A. Bedouin Arabs had no need to develop skills in arts and crafts such as painting. B. Islamic architects copied Greek and Roman styles from columns and domes. C. Islamic architects also copied the Persian style of pointed arches. D. The Muslim contribution to architecture was geometric or based on plant life. E. Muslim craftsmen developed their own style of making pictures with small pieces of glass. Quick quiz. 1. In which year did Hippocrates die? He was died in 370 BC. 2. Who built the House of Wisdom? Caliph Mamun. 3. Name a polymath Ibn Sina. 4. Name 3 subjects that Al-Kindi studied. Medicine, geography, geology. 5. In his astronomical work, what did Ibn Sina work out about Venus? He worked out about Venus that Venus is closer to the Earth. 6. How did Raziz choose the site for a new hospital? Where the meat rotted the slowest. 7. What is alchemy? A medieval chemical science. 8. How old was Ibn al-Haytham when he died? He died in 1039 at the age of 74. 9. How many languages did Al-Biruni know? Turkish, Sanskrit, Hebrew, Syriac, Persian, Arabic. 10. Name two uses of the astrolabe: to study the movements of the planets and positions of the stars. Thanks for listening. For new videos, don't forget to subscribe my channel. And if you like my videos, please share and like.